subscribe our channel. Stay till the end of the stories for more twist and turn. Comment us about what kind of stories you like to hear. My 16 male, mom, 40 female, keeps blaming everything on my stepmom, 27 female, and it's ruining my relationship with my mom. I'm using my backup account because my stepmom introduced me to Reddit and might know my main account. My parents got divorced when I was a baby. My dad is 49. I don't think about the age gap between my stepmom and dad at all since I didn't know what that was until a couple of years ago. Although I do think my stepmom relates to me more since she's closer to my age. Dad and stepmom have been together for 8 years. We'll call my stepmom Kara. My mom claims there was never an issue co-parenting with my dad until my stepmom came along. I don't think this is true. Long story short, my mom used to be an alcoholic and my stepmom would frequently pick me up, and when I was so young, 8 or 9, it felt like she was saving me from a really dark part of my life. Basically from ages 3-9 I was scared to go to my mom's house, but I had to. She is now sober. Thank God. I also remember my mom breaking into our house to try and kidnap me when I was home alone with my stepmom. I clearly remember her threatening to kill Kara. She also slashed Kara's tires several times. Kara has a restraining order against my mom and eventually things calmed down as far as violence. Fast forward to now, and there was recently a court battle between my mom and dad. My mom blamed this on Kara even though she started it and also informed me of everything. She kept saying she was going to get all this child support and Kara wouldn't be able to get her nails done anymore. I found this hilarious because Kara actually makes more than my dad now that she's done with school. She actually gets no child support anymore. My mom also has a tracker on my phone. My dad and Kara took me on vacation, just to our beach house, still social distancing. I decided to turn it off mostly because I don't think my mom needs to know where I am at with my dad. Today I'm back at my dad's and my mom is constantly texting and calling asking to talk to Kara because she shouldn't be turning off my tracking. I've told her multiple times I did this, but she doesn't believe me. This isn't the first time this has happened. I didn't want to play sports anymore, so my mom told everyone Kara forced me to quit. When Kara was pregnant, my mom was jealous and said Kara was stealing her dreams with my dad. She did this when my dad proposed to and said the ring should have been hers. My mom got pregnant right after Kara had her baby with a guy she barely knew. They stayed together for 2 years and then broke up. I just feel like every time I talk to my mom she has something to say about Kara, when she never did anything to my mom. He asked her so many times to stop talking about her, but it doesn't seem like it's happening. It's gotten to the point where I don't want to see my mom anymore. I also went on mom's iPad once and all her recent visits were Kara's social media pages. The other thing is Kara is an amazing stepmom. I was so behind on school and Kara helped me catch up. She taught me how to read. Now in high school, I'm in honors classes. My mom always told everyone I was autistic, but the truth is that she didn't want to help me with school. My dad worked a ton and I always got the feeling my mom didn't want me to see him. He would try to come get me and she would turn all the lights off and have me pretend like we aren't home. What should I do? I've tried talking to my mom before and she just denies that she was ever an alcoholic or says more garbage about my stepmom. I really am annoyed by my mom right now but still want to see my baby brother from her. I'm considering just moving into my dad's permanently when I turn 18 and just contacting my little brother's bio dad to see him. Bad idea? I don't know at this point. Depending on where you live, you can just decide to live with your dad full-time now. It's obvious your mom needs counseling for her issues and you would be better off at your dad's until she is able to sort things out. Some states or places allow kids to decide at the age of 14. We just went through this when I was 15 and it's 17 in my state. It sucks, I know. My mom completely denies having any issues. Hang in there and talk with your dad about moving in when you turn 17. Keep in contact with your mom and make sure she knows that you still love her but feel that living with your dad full-time will be better for you in the long term. No need to burn any bridges. You will face some things from your mom such as guilt trips and manipulation attempts to talk you out of it. You and your mom need family counseling. Until then it doesn't matter what you say to her because she's not ready to listen to how you feel or your perspective. Unfortunately, you've described your mom as a textbook narcissist, so my advice to you is to look up Grey Rock Method, your best bet to avoid conflict, ways to dealing with a narcissistic mother. There are loads of them with split families, and recognize that it's all coming from her being insecure in her relationship with you. It's not your fault or anything you can fix by yourself, and even running to your dad's will only make her ramp up her hate campaign. I went to family counseling with my stepmom and dad. They wanted to get me some help for all the stuff that's gone on cause they don't feel comfortable talking about stuff with my mom so much. I asked my mom along and she said it was the dumbest idea ever and a huge waste of money. My dad even offered to pay. Husband's best friend, 27 male, keeps an entire folder of my, 29 female, photos in his phone and I don't know how to react. We met 10 years ago as university freshers. He was paired with me for several group activities and we became friends. I met my husband through him who was his roommate and he was the wingman for both of us. We became a trio of best friends and remained even after the graduation. We got married, he was the best man, and he was invited to each and every party or vacation we had. When we had a confrontation, he was the peace talker. Both of us treated him as an important person in our lives. Yesterday he crashed at our place as he sometimes do. We had dinner and they started playing games. My husband told him that I was looking for a new phone and asked about his opinion as he is a tech nerd. He recommended the type he was using, and I asked him for the phone to check its camera. He unlocked and gave it to me so I took some selfies. My husband then called him for something and he left, leaving his phone in my hand. I opened the gallery to check the photos I had taken, and eventually saw another folder named with my name. And it contained hundreds of my images. It had some photos I asked him to take during our vacations and day outs. But most of them are creep shots. Photos of mine dressed in my nightgown, photos focused on my ass wearing bikinis, photos focused on my cleavage while wearing sundresses. The oldest one was a creep shot showing waistband of my underwear visible above the jeans taken in our university days. I gave him the phone as if I didn't see anything, but I don't know how to react. I treated and trusted him like my own brother and he had taken creep shots without my consent. Should I confront him about what I saw? I don't want to hear what he did that with those. Should I tell this to my husband? I feel angry, violated and disappointed. I feel that all he did for me as a friend or just him being a nice guy and not because of our friendship. TL, Doctor, husband's best friend who plays an important role in our life has taken creep shots of me and I don't know how to react. Let's be real, you'll never be comfortable again. You can try and hide it or downplay it but you'll flinch every time he touches his phone and over time it will drain you and erode the friendship anyway. It sucks. You don't deserve to go through this but it is also something that is hard to avoid now. In that sense, I think you need to discuss it with your partner and work out what comes next. If this ends the three amigos then that is what it is because yeah, it seems he has been playing the nice guy at least in part for a long while. I don't think it discounts the dynamic entirely, you can only fake so far, but it adds a dubious element to it and one that can't be ignored. The reason I say take it to your husband is that if and when this comes to light later he will ask the obvious question, why didn't you discuss it with him? I get the idea of trying to deal with it yourself but remember that while only a fraction of what you are going through he is also being misled and used and might have something to say about that. Yeah, I can't believe he did this to me. I treated him like my own brother. I have asked him to take my photos for me numerous times because I trusted him. Now I don't want to be around him. Should I just tell my husband what I saw? Photos are usually cloud backed up and the folder was in his camera roll, so almost certainly it's recoverable for up to a month, maybe longer, even if it's deleted. Added, the most guaranteed way is to replace every photo with a dummy image with the same name so they get overwritten. I could delete that easily at that time, but I thought he'll know then that I saw them. I want to confront him, but don't want to listen to his explanations. Stand on your beliefs with this. I would say this guy is a sexual predator. At the very least, seeing those pictures of you gave you all you needed to know about this guy. I'm sorry this happened to you. I would be very surprised that your husband wouldn't back you on this. I know I would back my wife. You deserve to be comfortable with whoever your husband is friends with. No need to waste time by concocting some elaborate plan to get the phone. It sounds like if you were trying to get the phone first, you want to give evidence that it exists. Before saying anything first to your husband, but why add that extra step? Because what advantage would it give you if you were making this up? If you were trying to get the phone before telling your husband, it just sounds like an excessive waste of time, especially when all three of you are close. Tell your husband first, because it's really what you saw and there would be no reason for you to be lying about such an odd thing. Then come up with a way to communicate with your friend as a team of two so that the two of you are working together as partners with this situation. I'll tell you how to react. Be creeped out because it's creepy and disturbing. After you settle down from the shock, I suggest talking to your husband and getting those photos deleted ASAP. Yep, I trusted him so much, like my own family. I cannot even imagine I had asked him to take my photos for me. Thanks for listening so far. If story have update, we will post here. Like and subscribe to our channel for upcoming stories.